This is a KWA SR12, but most KWAs are exactly the same as this. You can disregard how messy my desk is, but here we are. So far I've taken off these four, put them over here. It's a good idea to put them on the tape because then you never lose anything. And we're going to take apart this gearbox, and then I'm going to put the gearbox back together and then the entire gun. So you have a good idea of how to do it. So as I was. You're going to need one of these guys. Star shaped. Another spacer on there. Alright, now we got one more screw, two more screws, and then we can pop it apart. Alright, now that that's apart, you're going to need something like this, because you're going to stick it in here. This is going to stop the spring from pushing out the spring guide. You'll see in a second. And then you just want something to shimmy it apart, which another one of these little mini flathead screwdrivers would work pretty well. You go like this, and you just start to pull it apart. You find the brake, stick it in there, and slowly do it. Okay. You can just put that back on, you can't even tell that doesn't matter. There we go. That was the pop we were looking for. And there we go, it's off. Now what I'm looking for in this particular gun is at the gears, because they're making a weird noise. So I want to see what's wrong. This one's fine. I'm gonna relube it, but it's fine. You want to release the pressure too, because if you hit this the wrong way, it's gonna go flying. Looks like the spring's pretty compressed too. One quick way to fix the spring is just go like this. Pull it apart. Bring it back to life. I should raise the FPS a little bit. If you don't feel like buying a new spring, which I don't really feel like buying a new spring, so probably could use a new O-ring too. Just, it looks worn down. I'm gonna relube everything, I think, but I'm just curious as to why it's shooting so low. It's shooting about 250 FPS, but I think it's because of the spring. But let me see what's wrong with these gears. They definitely over-lubed this thing. Got another spring over here. Just gonna slide it up. Release the pressure. Ow. Now that that's done, this should come off. There we go. Tape's getting messed up. Doesn't really matter, because I'll go to the exterior anyway. Okay. Now, let's see what's the matter with these springs and these gears. As you can see, there's nothing really wrong with these gears. They're fine. Not even a little worn either. So this one's good. Let's see about this guy. This guy's fine too. Maybe it's the piston. Oh, the piston's in good shape too. So there's nothing really wrong here. It's got to be the spring. So everything else is fine. You know, watch out for this. This thing can go flying, and they're hard to find. Don't want to lose that piece, so I'm going to put that on the thing. Yeah. So I'm just going to clean this up now. So we're back. Now, cleaning is pretty simple. You just wipe everything off. Toothbrush works good to clean the gears, which I'll show you how to do in a second. It's pretty simple. That's pretty clean. The rest needs to be done with the toothbrush. Get my nooks and crannies. Nice and clean now, ready to be re-lubed. On to the next gear. There you go, nice and clean now. Just making it come back to life. That's all you really gotta do. It's also important when you're storing your airsoft gun, store it after firing semi. If you store it after you fired auto, it could be very compressed because it leaves the piston at any one of 5 positions, and if it's in the 5th position, then the spring's compressed, which just wears it down a lot faster. I mean, this is one way to just literally just bring a spring back from the dead, but especially because KWA makes good springs to begin with, so all you gotta do is just pull it apart. So I think that's the only thing really wrong with this gun, and it needs a better, cleaner lube, as it's over lubed right now. It's making a weird noise, but we'll see how it sounds after we clean everything out. It's also a good idea just to check the bearings. Make sure that they're not worn out. These look pretty good. You can just check them by looking, see if they spin alright. If they're bouncing all over the place because one of the balls slipped out or whatever. I like to clean the teeth on these too. I just get in those crevices. It's a little bit better. I'm gonna replace the O-ring. Not a big deal. Once I find mine, I'll be able to tell you what size they are. I kind of forget right now. You can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's. Alright, looks pretty good now. Clean this up a little bit better. Alright. Clean in here if you want. Looks good now. Alright. Now this side. I'll clean that one now. A little disappointed in this one because it was stock, and it just looks like they doused it in lube. It's just everywhere. Which too much lube is just gonna clog it up, not make it work as good as it could if there was just the right amount. But easy enough to clean. You should probably re-lube your guns every brand new one anyway. Because I haven't found a brand yet that does them perfect like they need to be. Alright, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to shim this real fast. Now we're shimming. This is the spur gear, and this is the gear that you want to start out with. You want to get it as low as possible. So you're going to put it in here, put this together as is without any shims, and see if it sounds alright. So you put it together, put the pressure here, so that it's as tight as it would be when it was all screwed in, and then you're just going to spin the gear and listen for any noises. And I don't hear anything. You hear that? When it's not centered, or if you have it turned a little bit, which it will be, it rubs. So I'm just going to put a small shim underneath there. Let me just get one. Take this tiny little shim and put it underneath. See if that makes any difference. Actually sounds a lot better. Let's see. Okay. Put the pressure here again. Just spin it. Oh, it's excellent. Nothing. Not a sound. Now you know it's good. You can move on to the next gear. see. I think that might have been the only problem with this gearbox, other than the spring being weak, but we'll see. We will see in 1 second. Okay. Alright, so everything's in there now. So let's see how it sounds. Sounds like there's a little bit of rubbing, so I'm going to pull it apart and see where it is. See how much play we got. That could be the problem too. I think it's good. There's no movement of the gears at all. I think this is pretty good how it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So the only thing I did was add one shim. Okay. So I just want to start putting it back together. Wait, no. Sorry, I gotta lube it. Gotta lube it. I get the lube real fast. Alright, so I like to use white lithium grease on all the gears. Not a crazy amount, but enough. Okay. Put that in there. That's good. And you want to put this guy in. Okay. Oh, wrong way. There. I'm gonna put this in the anti-reversal latch. Just gotta clean it off a little bit. It's dirty. Okay, good enough. Put that in. Hold it back. Put the other gear in. And And we're good. Alright, once that's in, I'm going to change the O-ring on this guy. Not that it's bad, it's just I like the thicker ones. They're number 15 O-rings. They just, actually no, they're 14s. 15s are too big. 15s for something else. So we're going to take one of these guys. Take one of the newer ones. We're going to put it in there. And around. Nice. Okay, good. Now, for this, to create a better seal, I like to use the waterproof grease. Find this at Lowe's or Home Depot. And it just makes a better seal. Just run it around the outside. Now, the seal should be perfect. You can see, no air is coming through. Perfect seal. And then for here, just along this, make it slide easier. Along here, along here. You pop that in. Right after you put this in. Okay. Actually, let me get this on there too. The tappet plate and air nozzle. Actually going to put some more of that seal on the right here. Put it right on this, just to make it a better seal. Because KWA doesn't put O-rings in their air nozzles, so you gotta seal it the best you can. So here we are. Pop that on. Put this with this. There we go. Now you remember the spring. The easiest way to do this is to hook it on here. Alright. And then you take this and you just pull it over. It's actually easy to use two of them. One to hold it from flying back and the other one to pull it down. There you go. It's on. Okay, now just gonna slide this in. There, that's in. Very good. Now it's probably a good idea to lube this too, because it's just going to make less resistance after I pull it apart better. Now the spring is like twice as long as it was before. It should work better too. Just going to spread the lube around. Doesn't really matter if it's on your hands or not. Get it nice and smooth. Slide it in. You always want the, at least in this case, you want the compressed side for this. So it helps it stay on to the spring guide. So you put the spring guide in, slide it down, and it's in. And this is always going to pop up. It's just fact of life, not a big deal. What you want to do now, make sure I didn't forget anything, now you just pop it in. That's the one nice thing about KWAs. They pretty much go together a lot easier than, say, Classic Army or JG. You just gotta find out which one's not in. And as you can see, this one's not all the way in, so you just want to jiggle it around, give it a click, and there you go. Amazing gearbox. I love KWA. So I'm just gonna put it back together now. Not back together completely, but do another test now that the red wire's out of the way. Let's see what we got. Okay. Probably better if you had a screwdriver with the star head like this, because this is really annoying. But it's the only one I had, so that's life. Alright, I'm not going to bother with the rest of these. So I just want to test it real fast. So, like I was doing before, put this through the red, put this through, up and in. And then, just want to put these two, or one screw is going to be good enough for this. Because it's got to come off again. Some good overhead lighting really helps to do this too. Now, damn. Now that you can just look where these go. Red goes to red, and then the other one goes to the other side. So you just slide it in there. Alright, so the gearbox functions good. So now we'll start putting it back together. Just want to pop this in. There we go, it's in now. Next thing, this. That down. Let it click. And screw these on. Get that one on, and this one on. We're good. Next thing you want to do, put this in. Flip it over, put the spring in, and then put this in. Okay. And then you need a really small hexagonal or Allen wrench. That bad boy in. Before I do that, I'm going to hammer this in. It's not letting me lay it flat. I'm losing pieces left and right. Put this over here. There. Now it's back in. Both sides. Good. I don't need that anymore. Just go like this. Okay. Now that that's in, you can go like this. Put it the wrong way. Get it on there. Okay. It's coming along. Come on. Come on. There we go, nice and tight. part's done. Okay, on to the next. Everything's good so far. Now I have to put the motor in. And it's in. Now I just want to twist, put the screws back in. I don't know where. Nice and tight. Because when you fire the gun, it's going to rattle, and if the screws aren't tight, they're going to come loose. And they'll start falling out when you're playing in the middle of the woods. Alright. Put this back in. Alright, slide that in, and then this guy. Alright, done. The problem I'm having with this red one is it just does not want to get out of the way. It's all up in my business. You want to make sure you have the motor plate too. It really makes a difference when you're adjusting the height of the motor. As annoying as it might be, usually helps us to add something sticky to it, like this, so it stays there. Now we'll try again, see if we can get the red wire out of the way, which it does not want to do. had it out of the way before. That's what's annoying me right now. Alright, this should be good now. We'll see though. We shall see if I can get it out of the way. Doesn't look that way. The motor plate won't stay. About to glue it. I really am. About to glue the stupid thing. Alright, it's on. Okay, I'll give it one more test just to make sure it's good. I think it sounds pretty good. Maybe a little motor adjustment, but nothing crazy. Got some nice air coming out of it too. Oh, never mind. Okay. Now, guess now we can put on the upper receiver. Yeah, that's what we can do. Slide this bad boy back on. Kind of want to put it together like that and slide it together. Probably gonna be the easiest way. And then, boom, it's good. Pops together. All right, so just gonna pop these in now. Do the whole thing in a second. Always something. I'm just trying to bring it through the entire gun. There we go. We're good, it's in. I'm just going to put in these screws. Shouldn't take more than a minute. Then we can chrono it and see where we're at. Before it was chronoing about 250. We want it more around 400 if we can, but if not, it's alright. go. Nice and tight. Okay, chrono time.